Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the interbubs. This is ReNDoG doing some casual stripping in another episode of Minecraft Survival from the Hermitcraft server. And we are kicking off today with some bling blings, baby. That is what I'm talking about. Best way to start a morning of Minecraft recording, I'd say. Get in my belly, diamonds. Jeez, man, I have collected so many diamonds in this mine, guys. Got 37 in my inventory, but I must be close to 2 stacks of diamonds now that I've managed to extract from this mine. We set this up last episode, didn't we? And that's because we're trying to get enough resources to build the Elvish kingdom in the Mobile Lisa project. Oh, baby, it is going to be so awesome. Today, my friends, we are getting cracking with some architectural goodness. We're going to be placing blocks that aren't made out of concrete today, and we're going to start working on the design for the Elvish side of the Mobile Lisa. It is going to be fan-freaking-tastic, baby. I have been stripping away down here, I guess, for about 3 or 4 hours now over the last couple of days. It's been awesome. I've pretty much got all of the resources that we're going to need, and I probably don't need to do any more stripping, if I'm completely honest with you, but I just love this, man. I love starting a day doing a little bit of stripping. You know what I'm saying, people? Oh, it is so satisfying being able to just speed mine through all of these blocks and to get all of the stuff that we need. Take a look at this. This is the second level of my strip mine. I have already stripped away an entire chunk up here. As you can see, it's been completely decimated, and I've collected an insane amount of resources down here. Absolutely fantastic. A bunch of iron, which is going to come in handy back at the netherboard. That is for shizzle. But most importantly, man, I've been collecting a bunch of smooth stone, because smooth stone is going to be one of the primary blocks in our Elvish build. We're going to be getting to that today, guys. It is going to be sweet. I hope you have a tasty beverage, man. I got a delicious cup of coffee. Give me 1 second. Oh, man. Oh, that hurts so much. Guys, my body is in agony today. Oh, my goodness. I had, well, a pretty horrible experience last night. I went to the gym for the first time in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I've subscribed to a little gym in the town that is near my house, and, well, I have decided I want to try and get a little bit more fit. I have spent the last 1.5 years here in my real-life hermit house making YouTube videos and streaming on Twitch, and I kind of been neglecting my own freaking body, and I gotta say, man, things are getting a little bit flabby up in here. I want to get a little bit more fit. You know what I'm saying, man? If I'm going to impress any ladies out there, man, I need to do something about this fitness level that I'm currently at, and I've decided to take matters into my own hands, and I want to get myself into the gym on a more regular basis. Now, the problem is, guys, that I'm kind of a competitive person when it comes to gymming and that sort of thing. I'm not generally a competitive person in real life, but when it comes to physical exercise, for some reason, I guess a primal instinct kicks into the ReNDoG, and I want to do really, really well when it comes to sort of anything to do with sort of sport or getting fit or any of that sort of stuff. Even though I'm not very good at it, I kind of like to perform at my best if I can. Last night, man, I was at the gym, and lo and behold, there was a guy there in the gym that kind of looked a little bit like me. He had a freaking ponytail, he had a pirate freaking beard going on, a pointy beard. He was looking pretty ReNDoG-alicious, if I do say so myself. The problem is, though, that this guy was about 50 times fitter than I was, and the first thing that I did when I got into the gym is I got onto the rowing machine, which is one of the machines that I like to use at gym, and this guy came and plonked his butt right next to me, and he started freaking rowing away like a maniac, I tell you. I've never seen a man so pumped up to row. And for some reason, the primal instinct kicked into the ReNDoG, and I was like, man, I'm not going to let this fool beat me on the rowing machine. I'm going to show him what's up, man. I'm going to row my freaking butt off and row faster and further than this guy can. And I don't know. I don't even know if he noticed, but I guess we got into some sort of like a manly competition. I think it was probably just in my head, but I don't know. Something kicked in. I just wanted to beat him. So I started rowing like an absolute maniac, bearing in mind, guys, that I haven't done any real exercise for probably half a year, and I shouldn't be pushing myself so freaking hard on the very first time of going back to gym. But I don't know, man, I just felt the need. I felt the need to beat this ReNDoG clone in the rowing competition that we were having. So I was absolutely pushing myself, and I gotta say, man, I felt a little bit sick. I was feeling a bit nauseous after about 10 minutes of going for it, and then I took a break. He carried on going, though, because he was obviously at a much higher fitness level than me. Anyway, time passed, and I decided that I wanted to do a little bit of work on my arms. I wanted to do some pull downs, I think is what they're called. I don't know what these freaking machines are called, but basically it's a machine where you pull down on like a bar and then you lift like weights or whatever, right? So it kind of like exercises your arms and your shoulders. And there's two of these machines in the gym, and lo and behold, I went and got busy on the arm and shoulder machine, and this ReNDoG clone butthole fool came right next to me and started doing the same thing, and he cranked up his weight level to like level 10 or whatever, right? So you can select how heavy the weight is that you are trying to pull, and I was pulling at about, I don't know, level 5 or so, because, well, I'm not very strong at the moment. I still need to get my freaking shoulders and arms to a much stronger place, and this dude was like cranking on level 10, man. And obviously the ReNDoG would not be outdone by the ReNDoG clone, so I cranked my weightage up to level 10, and I was straining to lift those weights like nobody's business, guys. Oh, I don't even know what my face looked like, but I can tell you something, it probably wasn't a pretty sight. I was sweating, there were veins popping up all over the show, and muscles in my body were being worked that haven't been worked in 6 months, because I've been sitting in front of a computer making freaking YouTube videos, man. I've been exercising. Anyway, couldn't do very many of those. I think I did maybe 10 or 12 of those level 10 pull down exercises, and then I was an absolute wreck. I couldn't even freaking walk properly after spending all of that energy on the rowing machine. I had to go into the change room and sit down for about 20 minutes to get my breath back, and I guess I was kind of hiding from him. You know, I didn't want him to see that I was weak, that I'd been destroyed by him in our little manly competition that we had going on. Anyway, he left the gym first and I left afterwards, and it took me, well, much longer than it should have to get home, guys. I was hobbling home, man. I was an absolute wreck, and this morning I am an absolute wreck. I'm telling you guys, I can't move. I sort of crawled down the stairs into my studio, got set up on YouTube and onto recording, and I've just been sitting down here all morning long. I don't want to move. My legs are saying no. The mind says yes, but the body says hell to the freaking no. You know what I'm saying, people? Oh man, I'm an absolute disaster. Anyway, I hope to be able to get better over time. I'll keep you guys updated as I go, okay? As my fitness levels grow, I will let you know how I go, and hopefully I can defeat that ReNDoG butthole in the next couple of weeks, or I guess couple of months of training, and hopefully we can get to a point where we can take him down to Chinatown. Anyway, we got way more important fish to fry today, my friends. We are making an Elvish castle of epicosity. It is going to be sweet. I've done a little bit of work on the storage room around here, and well, I've also done a little bit of work getting myself organized. I've got 4 shulker boxes over here, and these shulker boxes contain all of the materials that we're going to be using today. We've got some white concrete and some stone slabbage. We've got some stone bricks, some stone brick stairs, and some chiseled stone bricks, and then we've got a shulker box over here for just, you know, regular stuff that we need, and we have a green one here for all of the organic stuff that we might need in this build. So, we're super organized. We've got all the blocks that we need. And today, my lovely friends, I want to start working on a design for the Elvish fortress that we briefly mentioned in the previous episode. Where is my elytra? It's not on my body. Frickin' facepalm. Okay, Cyberdogs, the wings of the dog have been successfully retrieved from the buttcrack of Minecraft. And that means it is time to get down to the business of placing down some blocks. Oh, baby. I'm so excited, man. This is going to be so sweet. We are not placing down any black or orange concrete today, guys. We are going to be working with traditional Minecraft blocks. And I got to tell you, man, I cannot freaking wait. As I can't actually move my body right now, I can't think of anything better to do than spend the entire day playing Minecraft with you guys. Now, as we all know, we have been tasked with building an Elvish kingdom here in the Mobalisa 2.0, and I got some plans. I've got some really sweet plans that I want to share with you guys. Iskal is, of course, working on an Orcish kingdom on the other side of the arena, and I know that some of you guys are dying for me to show you what he's been up to out there. Also, Stress is working on some amazing terraforming for the arena too, and I know you want me to show you everything, but guys, I ain't going to spoil what they're doing, okay? If you want to see what they're up to, head over to their channels at the end of this episode. I assure you will not be disappointed. This project is going to be a work of art, guys. guys, it is going to be absolutely incredible. So, instead of spoiling Iskal and Stress's work, let's head out here into the middle of this giant plains, and let's start talking about a block palette for our Elvish kingdom. Now, elves are kind of a tricky thing to do when you are trying to build something elvish in a game like Minecraft, right? And that's because there are a bunch of different varieties of elves in the fantasy world. You got elves that live in forests, you got elves that live in cities, you got evil elves, good elves, neutral elves, all types of freaking elves in the fantasy world. And I've been racking my brain trying to figure out exactly what kind of elf I want to build my kingdom around. And I got a plan. For those of you guys who are fans of Lord of the Rings, you guys will know that the Elves of Riverrun are a kind of interesting type of elf. In Lord of the Rings, you got a couple of species of elves, I guess. You got the Elves of Riverrun, who live in an amazing palace. You also have the Elves of Lothlorien, I think, the Forest of Lothlorien, who live in a forest, and they live in like sort of tree houses and all of that sort of jazz. Now, I was originally going to make our Elvish kingdom out of wood. I was going to make it out of tree houses and lots of leaves and try and make it a sort of natural elf type style, but I think that that is kind of boring. I want to try and push ourselves for this project. I want to try and create something that is going to be absolutely amazing, but at the same time keep that elven feeling to it. And what we're going to be doing is working with some really clean-cut blocks. Now, the elves in general in the fantasy world are very powerful beings, right? In Lord of the Rings, of course, they are immortal. I don't even think they eat. I actually have no idea. I don't think I've ever seen an elf eat in Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to remember if they do. I know they have some sort of a bread that they give the hobbits when the hobbits come and visit them in Riverrun, but it's been a while since I read Lord of the Rings or watched the movie, so I could be completely wrong. But this is what I want to try and play with today, guys. I want to try and base our Elvish kingdom build on the Elves of Riverrun. I want to create a kingdom for the elves, or a castle, I suppose, a keep for the elves. And then behind that kingdom, or behind that keep anyway, we're going to create some sort of an elvish city. Now, what sort of city would an elf live in? What sort of city would the elves build? Well, as they are amazingly powerful beings, I can only assume that elves would create an absolutely perfect structure. Whatever they built, whether it was a city or a wall or a castle or some sort of a defensive thing, it would be created in a perfect way. Every single brick that they would use would be perfectly crafted, whether that would be by magic or by using the dwarves to create an absolutely perfect structure for them. I think that the elves would demand perfection in the creation of any architectural build that they would do. And that's exactly what I would like to do out here. So take a look at this. I've thrown together a very, very quick design that I want to work with. And I want our primary block for our elvish castle or our elvish cities to be stone bricks. I don't want to have a lot of cracked stone bricks in here. I don't want to have mossy stone bricks. I want them to be clean. I want them to be perfect, that they've been perfectly forged within the depths of some dwarven freaking mountain. I don't know, maybe that mountain over there is where the dwarves live. That could be something. Maybe the dwarves live in the quarry over there. Wherever they live, they have been contracted by the elves to create perfection with regards to this kingdom that the elves are going to be working on. So, say for example, we were to throw together a little bit of a wall that would be surrounding the kingdom there, or the place where the orcs would be raiding. The wall might look a little something like this. We got stone bricks, we got chiseled stone, which looks really cool. It's got some sort of a magical feel to it in the setting, doesn't it? And take a look at this block over here. White concrete. I think this is the absolute perfect complementary block to the palette that we want to do over here. This white concrete is going to be in the background of our build. The stone is going to be at the forefront, and the white concrete is going to be the trim, shall we call it. And I think that is going to be an absolutely perfect design. We've also got stone slabs to work with over here, of course. And stone slabs are really, really cool because, well, they're kind of white, aren't they? They have a little bit of white in them, so they match the color of the white concrete quite nicely. And they're very, very clean blocks, which means they're going to be able to match that very clean style that we're trying to go for. Now, this is a very simple wall that I've thrown together over here. I want to try and find a much more complicated design, a much more detailed design, because I want these elves that live out here to be opulent. I want them to be a very rich nation. a nation that has all the wealth, a creature that has dominated this land through its power, through its magic, and that's why the orcs are so desperate to invade the kingdom and to take the riches from the elves. So I want to try and work on some really, really, I guess, opulent looking structures, right? This wall it's looking pretty good. I kind of like it, but I think we could get a bunch more detail into this sort of design. Now let's talk about a couple other features that we could throw into the Elvish fort. Well, I guess fort is probably the wrong word, right? I don't think elves would actually live in a fort, would they? I think they'd probably live in a keep. An elvish keep. Do elves live in keeps? I'm not sure what an elf might live in. I guess it would be a kingdom or a fortress. Yeah, let's call it a fortress. That's kind of sweet. Now, what kind of features would an elvish fortress have? Well, I guess they would definitely have some sort of guard turrets or lookout turrets that we could create. Nice and round, I think. And what I'd also like to sort of incorporate into this build is some sort of a spire, right? So say, for example, we had some nice round lookout towers, I suppose, is one way to put them, that looked a little something like this. I think I've completely messed up the design over here, though. Yeah, I have. I think we're going to need to go out one more block like this. Yeah, there we go. Can somebody sleep, please? The sun is going down. I'm trying to explain some building. Who's on the server? X and ZF, please, guys, sleep the night away, man. Things are going to get hairy out here. Anyway, I think we could make some pretty cool looking watchtowers like this, right? If you imagine this going all the way up and having some sort of a place where the elven archers would sort of stand to shoot those orcs as they tried to invade. We could also make like, I guess like spires or something. What I'm envisioning is very straight and very high and pointy spires, right? And using this white concrete, we could get some really great detail work into these sort of spires. So maybe the spires themselves are a little bit thinner or have a thinner diameter, I suppose, to them than the watchtowers, and those could go really high into the sky, and those could be like the primary things of the skyline when you look back at the Elvish Kingdom from the orcish side. I want to see these spires reaching out into the night sky, and then I want to see these really awesome Elvish archer watchtowers and these really powerful and opulent walls that we're going to throw up to defend the Elvish Kingdom from the orcish invasion. That's the plan. That's the block palette. What do you guys think? Have I missed out any blocks? No, I think that's going to be the primary block palette, and I think what we could do to try and take it to the next level, get out of here zombies, is get a little bit of green into the build too. So maybe we could have some overgrown vines sort of growing over this kingdom as if it's been here for centuries, thousands of years. This Elvish Kingdom has stood against the orcish invasions and against the invasions of the undead too, I suppose. That's the plan, guys. Let me get something thrown up on the Elvish side of things, and yeah, we'll take a look at what it looks like. Jeez, get out of my face, frickin' zombie! I know I promised we wouldn't be placing any black or orange concrete today, guys, but I've had to come back to base because I forgot a very important block for today's episode, and that's lime green concrete. I need this jazz, man. I'm going to use this to create some foundations of the buildings that we're going to be making, taking a page out of B00's book. So I've just come back to the netherboard to get a bunch of lime concrete, and while I'm here, there's a couple of things that I want to show you because I've been kind of busy since we were last together out here. Of course, a couple of episodes ago, we made a squid farm with Exumavoid over there, didn't we? And well, it's working, but it's kind of working a little bit slowly. So what I've decided to try and do is to try and increase the efficiency of this squid farm by installing a couple of pest control units into our lake over here. Let's get into the water. Yep, there it is. We have got some guardians up in here. I think we've got 4 guardians in total in this lake. Yes, as you can see, they're all in here, man, and they are doing some serious work, killing the squids that are spawning in the lake around the chamber. Here's my thinking. If these guardians can get rid of all of the squid in the lake, then any of the squid that spawn in this area are going to spawn inside of our little squid farm over here, and they're going to get cooked by the uranium. Essentially, these guardians are the pest control for the lake, and I think that's kind of sweet, man. I think that this thing has been generating some ink sacs. The last time I checked the chest, there was about, I don't know, 64 and a bit. So a stack and a smidge of ink has been generated by the farm so far, and hopefully those guardians will help to clear out all of the squid around the farm farm to make the farm a little bit more efficient. And I know, guys, we could have put the Guardian inside of the Squid Farm, but then we would just be making Iskal's Squid Farm, and I wanted to make my own freaking Squid Farm, okay? I know it's probably the most inefficient Squid Farm in the history of Minecraft, but it's doing the job. It is doing the job. Now, one last thing to show you in the netherboard before we head back to the Mobilisa. I got some good news, guys. I have been waiting patiently for the Mooshroom to actually generate some steak for us. And this morning I was hanging out on the server with DocM77. I wasn't recording, unfortunately, because we were just chatting, but there was nobody else on the server, and I was looking down at our spawning platforms, and guess what, guys? I saw some freaking mushrooms spawn. Take a look at this. We got our first steak in the belly from the Mooshroom, which means that this giant unnecessary contraption actually works when there is nobody else online. That makes me super freaking happy, man. Now all I need to do is speak to the Hermits to not log in for at least a week, and we'll have a ridiculous amount of steak. You know, guys, one of the things I love most about playing Minecraft on YouTube is that you can learn so many awesome techniques from some amazing builders out there, right? Take, for example, this green concrete we've got going on over here. This is inspired by the B00-100. B-Dubs loves to set up foundations for buildings that he is creating before he gets busy placing down blocks. And I think it's one of the best techniques that I have ever learned from a Minecrafter on YouTube. We are currently trying to create a massive freaking fortress over here, and we got to try get that fortress from Brain into Minecraft, and we got to do that one step at a time. And a really good place to start is to lay down some foundations, and that is why I went to get all of these lime concrete blocks over here. Take a look at this. I have set up the basic foundations of the walls for the Elven Fortress, and I think this is looking pretty good. We got the entrance over here, which is 3 blocks wide, exactly the same thickness as Iskal's side of the Mobilisa. I almost said side of the island over there. And we also have perfectly symmetrical walls over here. Remember, these are the elves. They are creating some flawless designs out here. Everything's got to be symmetrical. Everything's got to be perfect. And these walls are 17 blocks wide. And at the end of the walls, we've got some watchtowers. And then we're going to have some spires here for the entrance into the Elvish kingdom. Now, we have been playing with some pretty janky ass foundation blocks over here. So I want to get rid of these so that we can start laying down some proper blockage out here. And take a look at this, guys. I spotted a little bit of a mound over here from Stress. Spoiler dome. Please leave ear till I remove it. In it from Stress. Okay, so we won't be going into that mound. We'll leave that completely alone. I'll make sure not to destroy it during the recording of this episode. But yeah, we've got the foundations for the walls. Let me get some blocks up and see if we can actually start to bring this little Elvish kingdom to life, baby. Okay, so how do we feel about this as a potential design for our Elvish fortress walls, Cyberdogs? Personally, I think we're cooking with gas now, baby. I think it's looking really good. I've worked hard to get as much detail and as much depth into this wall design as possible, because of course the elves are going to demand only the best stonemasons in the land to create them a fortress. Only the most talented dwarves would be used to create a fortress like this, and every single block in the wall would be perfect, right? Every single brick would be masterfully crafted and masterfully placed into the wall, and I want to try and get that feeling in this design. Looking pretty good. Now, it's really important that we get a very symmetrical and very opulent design over here, guys, because we need this fortress to contrast as much as possible with the Orcish fortress on the opposite end of the arena. Take a look at what Iskal's been working on over there. A very sort of haphazard build, right? Because that's what orcs would do. Orcs wouldn't care about symmetry. They wouldn't care about beautiful architecture and lines. They're just going to pile rocks on top of each other, get logs up to create some watchtowers and whatnot. And Iskal's done an amazing job capturing exactly what an orc might build. And we need to do exactly the same thing on this side. And I'm trying to capture that sort of elvish symmetry in this design. Now, I really love this white concrete over here, right? It looks so sweet as a complementary block to the main block palette over here. The problem is, though, if we had a look over there, we are missing a primary color, aren't we? Iskal's using that gorgeous red color to indicate the orc side of things. And I've been been thinking about maybe using this blue as the color that we would use for the elves. However, blue is not a very elvish color, is it? I mean, it could be. We could try and force it. It's kind of a royal, kind of a region color, which I like, but maybe we need to make our elves green or magenta or cyan or something like that. I don't know. I'll probably experiment with that off camera, but I want to bring you guys back for a very quick session of wall building. I want to show you guys exactly how I did this. And basically what I've done is I'm breaking this wall up into segments, right? We've got these beautiful legs that sort of stick out of the walls, which I really, really like. And then in between the legs, we have a sort of internal segment where the white concrete powder starts over there. So what I did was I started off with a foundation of 3 stone bricks, and then I laid down some white concrete down the middle of those 3 stone bricks. And I'm basically working off of that central sort of white wall pillar or white wall structure to sort of finish this off. And by the way, a really nice hint for you builders out there: stick your foundation blocks in your offhand, and then you can use them as scaffolding, right? And it's really, really helpful when you are using scaffolding to get up and down places, because you can very clearly see what blocks you need to clear at the end of your build. And I absolutely love this little method. I think it's really smart. And I do it all the time now. Saves me so much freaking time. But take a look at this, right? What we want to do is try and break this wall up into segments. So I've got a couple of interesting things going on over here. We've got some stairs and some slabs, a little bit of depth in there, created by some upside down stairs, and then some slabs placed on top of them. I kind of like that. And then what I've been working on is just building up these little feet like this, right? So we build it up one layer at a time. And yeah, that should look really, really sweet as we generate these little segments all the way across our wall. And all we have to do is sort of wall off these little segments like this, and using the stairs sort of indicates the end of this foot, right? And then we go on to the next foot bit, if you know what I'm saying. And here's a good example of the scaffolding being used, right? So we can clearly see that we need to clear that. And as I understand it, yeah, all we got to do is sort of emulate what we did on this side of things. So let's get some of those stone bricks down, get some of these little bits of slabbage down like this, and this is going to come all the way over a little ledge like so. And also, we'll work on the battlements on this side too. So, kind of sweet, man. I really like how this is turning out. And how did I do this? Oh, yeah, we had like a sort of central pillar like this. And then we've got a little battlement, I suppose, that sticks out like that. And then, if I recall correctly, yeah, we've got a stair that sort of faces like that and faces away like that too. So that's looking pretty good. Then what we got to do is finish off the lip, I think, which is like this, and we'll fill that in, get a few more slabs up in that business, and then all we need to do is get a few more slabs done to finish off this little segment over here. So not exactly a super complicated design. I mean, it's pretty highly detailed, but once you get into the rhythm, and because it's such a symmetrical design, right, all you need to do is replicate the sort of segments as you go along. So, oops, absolutely broke that, my bad. So once you've got the building of the segment down, all you need to do is remake the segment one at a time, and we're going to just do that all the way across this section until we get to the watchtowers, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And that should give us our completed Elvish Fortress walls, and that should let us know whether this design's going to work or not. Okay, that's not looking too shabby, Cyberdogs. You picking up what I'm putting down over here? I've just popped over to the Orcish Fortress over here to take a look at the wall design from a distance, and I do like it, but I'm not a fan of the blue. I think the blue pushes this design into more of a human type of building rather than an elvish building, right? I think that we need to get a few more spires in here. We need to get some height into this wall. Maybe I don't know, maybe we need to break out the center of this wall to try and add a little bit more shape into it. It's looking very human right now. It's kind of cool though. I like it. I like the shape of it. I like these sort of rounded bits happening over here, but I kind of need to work to get the wall back into the realm of the elvish. I've still got a couple hours of recording to go here, so let's see what I can do. Well, it's certainly been an eventful afternoon of Minecrafting for the ReNDoG, guys. Let me tell you something. Since I last recorded, a lot of jazz has gone down, both good and bad. The good news is I've made some pretty decent progress out here on the walls. Looking pretty snazzy, isn't it? I know, baby. We're cooking with gas today. The bad news is the server lagged and died about an hour ago or so. I was in the middle of an ender pearl when the freaking server died, and when I logged on, I was stuck in the wall. I died, lost all my freaking experience. Luckily, I picked up all of my items, and since then, I've just been working on improving the walls. And I gotta say, man, I think I have cracked the nut on this one. This is the design that I want to go with. And you know what the amazing thing about Minecraft is, guys? The smallest little change to a design can really bring the whole thing together. Take a look at what I've done here. I've added a little bit of space in the middle of that big wall that we'd set up just by dropping the wall down 3 or 4 blocks, and I think that really has added a great little bit of depth and a great bit of movement to the wall. I've also been fiddling around with the balustrades. Is that what those things are called at the top of a wall? I don't know, but what I've come up with is this really simple triangular design, kind of like the ear of an elf, right? But what I really like about it is the angles that it is bringing into the wall. It takes the wall away from some sort of a human design and into something a little bit more mystical. Am I right? I think that really simple design there has really brought the whole wall together. I've also simplified some of the detail that I had in the original wall design, and I've tried to make it a little bit flatter just so that it doesn't feel so all over the place. And I think I'm pretty much there with the design, guys. I can't wait to see what you guys think about it. I've also been designing a little bit of an emblem. I'm not completely sold on this emblem. If you guys want to have a go at designing an emblem that is going to sit at the very top of the entrance into the Elf Kingdom, hit me up on Twitter with your screenshots. I will choose a design, if it's better than this, of course, and you guys will be immortalized in Hermitcraft 5 forever. So get going, guys. Try and figure out an emblem for us. I think it's kind of cool. Looks a little bit like a sun or like a flower or something. Still not sold on the blue, though. I think we'll probably try a different color. But that, my friends, is the foundations for the Elvish fortress design of the Mobile Lisa 2. What do you guys think? I think it's looking absolutely snazzy, man. I'm very, very happy with it. But I tell you what, it has been a long afternoon of Minecraft for me, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think about this design. And of course, freaking subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, or this freaking green block is going up your butt crack. You hear me, you bastards? Thank you so much for watching, guys. ReNDoG signing out, and we will smell you all in the next episode.